here today, so let's just get straight on into this and look to see what's going to happen. So reloading up, and we get ready to go to the top left-hand side. Our blue Terran player, it is going to be Ryung. And he is going up against the red Terran player to the bottom right-hand side of the map. It is KeeN. How's everybody doing tonight? We're jumping into these games quite fast, so not really having much of a chance to talk to you guys, but hope you're all having a good one. Hope it's all been a good day for you all. It's Friday tomorrow, and the real kind of content of the championship bracket begins. I have a very long stream for you guys tomorrow, like, I don't even know how, it's going to be like multiple hours, like 7, 8 plus hours long. It's going to be pretty insane. Lots of championship bracket coming your way tomorrow, live from midnight CET, so kind of midnight tomorrow. We'll start off with that, and we will start the stream with counting down to Wardy's birthday, of course. How could you all forget? Well, you didn't, because I know you've all bought me lots of great presents. I'm very excited to receive them all in the mail tomorrow, in advance for the countdown to Wardy's birthday. I'm very excited, I just can't wait. But, yeah, I don't actually think it's going to be anything special. I just want to keep mentioning it's my birthday, because I'm going to be spending it with you guys. And I just want you to know how important you all are to me, that I would even spend my birthday with you all. That's how important you guys are to me. As we set on up, we're going to be seeing this TvT between Ryung and KeeN, best of 3. Again, it's only the first matches in the winners bracket which are best of 3. The first 2 matches in the winner bracket, best of 3s, and the rest best of 5s. Until the grand final, which is best of 7. The opening here going to be that Cyclone on the way out early from Ryung, whereas we see an earlier expansion from KeeN, which is being delayed a little bit right now as this Reaper comes in and does win out for Ryung. We've seen a second Reaper coming across the map and a Cyclone about to pop Tech Bab on the barracks, and this is pretty much the very standard build order we've been seeing from TvT for a long time now in the current match. It's really kind of what we've been seeing so much of as of late, so this will either be a Raven or a Cloak Banshee. Either or can work, and is a potential build, and is just going to be the Cloak Banshee. The 2 Reapers trying to do something at the front, unable to really do a lot, but now the Cyclone coming across, Ryung will continue to pressure on in here in the early stages to see what he can get done. So, Cyclone continue to come on in, coming down towards the bottom right still, these Reapers nearby, and just going to be seeing the Marines and the Cyclone just sat up on the high ground. Seeing the grenade going down, and he actually can blow up his own Cyclone there with his own grenade. We're going to see the micro continues, and Ryung, very low Cyclone, but he's still going to keep on pushing forwards. He has more units to work with. Nice grenades here, as his own Cyclone is so low. Yes, he's so careful. He maintains everything right now. Ryung not losing anything at all. And he's killed 2 SCVs, a Reaper, and 2 Marines. It's been a good start for Ryung, not bad. Good micro, definitely. And now we're going to be seeing his first Banshee coming across the map. And interestingly enough, a second Banshee as well. Second Banshee is something that we have not seen very often when going for this build order, just because Ravens are so good nowadays. A lot of people have been pushing into that fast Raven straight after one Banshee, and then going for Vikings and air control. So it's kind of crazy to see Ryung starting to build a second Banshee already. It's a little bit different and not quite what you would be expecting, at least not quite what I'm expecting. As this Banshee comes in, 1 SCV falls, now a second. Third one going to go down as well, and we are just going to be seeing here this Banshee continuing to move forwards. Continue to look to see where else he's going to be able to go. So Banshee continuing to do quite a bit right now. He does turn away. We're going to be backing away to the left-hand side, and just going to be seeing the Raven is on the way up as well. So Raven beginning to build. And we're just going to be seeing the Banshee continuing to move down towards the bottom right. So Banshee continues towards the bottom right, and again we see this Raven, Marines, and a Cyclone. Will help for KeeN to defend his natural expansion, as this Banshee of Ryung just on the way over. And again, the second Banshee is something you don't necessarily expect nowadays, as the Widowmine going to be avoided, and then he turns back into it. Pops the cloak though, keeps himself safe. It's the Viking actually which is able to push this away, and just going to be seeing the Banshee still moving around, just looking for anything, but it's very difficult with already one turret up to the right hand side, and yeah, Banshee's not doing much at all here for Ryung early in the game. Going to be seeing this Raven, the Cyclone tank, and a few Marines still just sat at the natural expansion. So he did get Raven out in the end, And in the end, it doesn't really hurt him either because neither player is really pushing for air control. In fact, both of them are just building their reactor on the starport rather than swapping it onto a reactor already built, which is generally what happens because generally that allows you to then make 2 Vikings at a time, and boom, you have air control, which becomes so difficult to fend off. And we've seen games in TvT ending because of air control quite frequently lately. Air control really has been the be-all and end-all as of late, so... Then we've seen this Cyclone still sat at the front. This Banshee gets locked onto, and the Cyclone will continue to chase it away. Raven is actually going to be sticking nice and close to it, so this Banshee will go down. Order turret pops as well, which actually gives the Cyclone a bit of an advantage going towards this fight as well. There's another turret available if you would like. This Banshee is here though, and probably means that it's not going to be the best of commitments. Stim pack on the way from both +1, slightly advantageous for KeeN. Just a few seconds ahead, but he's going to be only on 1 upgrade, whereas we see Ryung setting up into the double engineering bay. Wants to get 2 upgrades here very early on, right away, and just sort of go from there. There's 2 engineering bays coming down towards the left-hand side. There's Viking from KeeN continuing up the left as well, looking to see what else is happening. I'm just going to be seeing what exactly else this Viking can get up to here very shortly, as Marines and a few tanks will get rid of these rocks. Some rocks will go down. KeeN still looking to see what else is up and what else is happening. The +1/+1 starts from Ryung now, and he holds a bit of an income lead as well, with 7 workers over his opponent, and also the fact he has got a third base. Ryung has got all the advantages right now in this game, so despite nothing really happening, apart from a little bit of damage here and there, it really has become an early lead for Ryung. He's really made the most out of this. He actually killed... When the fuck did he kill 14 workers? What? I guess the Banshees dived in and we're just completely blind. Well, that's the worst cast ever. I actually have no idea when he lost 14 workers, I'm not going to lie. So, it obviously happened when one Raven was chasing away one of the Banshees. I really don't know. Like, we kept pretty good track of the Banshees, I thought. Wow. Well, Wardy has no idea what happened here, so you can just blame me for a terrible, terrible chance to observe. I've just got absolutely no idea. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have no clue what happened. So that's very bad casting, but I mean I can't make up stuff that I don't know about. I just messed up, so apologies for that. We're seeing KeeN taking an aggressive position forwards right now. Looking to see what he can get up to, as a few tanks going to be firing. We're seeing the Raven here. Lots of energy from KeeN. Could order turret to try and get rid of this tank right away. But actually enough Marines here to protect that, and well, KeeN's still taking the aggressive position towards the front. As Ryung just going to be sat back pretty defensively across his 3 bases. I mean, it is KeeN who needs to look for something here very soon. If he doesn't find something very shortly, KeeN is going to be in a position where he's just not going to be able to continue on this game. As one tank going down a piece so far. Marines will take a lot of damage from this tank on the high ground still. And still right now, Marines continue to go down. Ryung is holding on. And KeeN, the longer he doesn't get damage done for, the worse this becomes for him. Down almost 20 workers at this point. KeeN is the player who has to make some moves, and Ryung scans at a perfect time. He's going to be able to pick off 1 tank of his opponent. He repairs his tank. It's not enough. I actually thought he might just keep that alive. Doesn't quite happen at the end, but still 1 tank for 1 tank. And at that point, if Ryung's still trading efficiently, well, he is in favor because he's also got that armor upgrade over his opponent right now. And he is just, again, mining so much more as the game continues. Another scan, and this tank is take a few shots. This one going to go once again the way of Ryung until KeeN does drop the order turrets in the end. Order turret does help to win out. As Ryung has actually set up a little bit of a counter-attack here, set up some Marines behind this army. So he's getting ready to go for a little bit of a surround. Whenever he decides to engage, which might be very shortly, I mean, there's only, what, 2 tanks over here, so there's not that much to attack into, as you actually see him moving forward. Just gets a Viking for now. These Marines are actually going to keep on going towards the bottom right, so Ryung is just going to either go and pick off units, reinforcements, which is what he's beginning to do, or go towards that 3rd base. Either way, it's a good opportunity for Ryung to get some major damage done in this, as there just isn't really anything for KeeN at all. Scanning forwards, and now he's going to find the 3rd base, and it's morphing into an orbital, so there's really not going to be anything here to defend at all. KeeN's going to try and push at the front. The tanks are siege, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. GG is called, and Ryung is going to take game number 1. But basically, certain players who play in a lot of OSC events on are very good, get a bounty put on their head. And if you're basically a non-Korean and a non-European, and you win, I think you also can't have a bounty on your own head, and you win against a player who is got a bounty in a best-of-3 series or larger, you win whatever the bounty is. So Probe, actually beating Puck, wins a $30 bounty. And that should be the first bounty of the year. The first bounty of many. Last year we had a couple hundred, I think, getting claimed. Almost $5,000 worth of bounties claimed in 2016. So it's a really cool aspect of the OSC system. So that's already starting to kick on in here. So thanks to our admin for keeping us up to date on that. As we jump on into now this second game of the TvT series. To the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player is going to be Ryung. And he's going to be going up against the red Terran player to the bottom left-hand side. It is KeeN. Reaper on the way for both players early on. Nothing too surprising about that. No matter what happens, I think the Reaper expand is always going to be a possibility in TvT. And I mean, even if it isn't a Reaper expand, Reaper-based aggression is always going to be fairly popular as well. And when I say Reaper-based aggression, I mean like gas first, couple of Reapers, multiple Reapers with the second gas early, and then factory-based unit support. We saw Reaper Hellion for a long time was a big thing. Nowadays, Reaper Cyclone is sort of the go-to in the early stages as well. In fact, TvT is one of the matches that from patch 3.8 probably took one of the larger turns in terms of build order opening that is used to great effect. It really was so much about that Reaper Hellion in the early stages of the matchup for the past few months, but now that double Reaper Cyclone build order, one of the more popular ones. Alternatively, the Reaper Cyclone defensively off of an expansion can work as well, which might be what we see here out of the players, as we see the factories about to finish up, and their second gases are only just going to be finishing now as well. So what we could see is a Cyclone rather than a Starport, and that enables the players to be very defensive. Or we could also see the Starport. In fact, we're going to see an example of both builds here. So the factory is going to be dropping down this Cyclone, and so the Cyclone for KeeN is on the way out. So he's playing nice and defensive, whereas we see Ryung, well, he's actually morphed in a couple of Hellions already, but he's also setting up his Starport rather than a Cyclone. Spending his gas on the Starport means he'll look to be, well, aggressive in other ways. I'd say actually for KeeN this is not so much an aggressive build as it is a defensive build, because the only time you're going to get damage done with this Cyclone when it comes out, not as a gas first, and not off of an expansion, is off of an expansion, you're just not going to get much damage done with a Cyclone at this sort of stage of the game. So just a very defensive setup here and a much later Starport because of it is probably going to go the way of Ryung, I would say. He's not messing around with early defense that he doesn't need. He's just going to be able to get into his next stage, which is actually just going to be a Hellion drop. So Ryung going to be dropping in with those Hellions here very shortly. Medevac going to be finishing soon, as the Starport now finished from KeeN. He's just going to go straight to the Raven. So very defensive for him once again. We're actually going to be seeing Ryung with 2 Cyclones now on the way. So very different build to what I've seen ever in this patch so far. Double Cyclones being reacted out in the TvT right now. Again, it could just be a defensive thing. I mean, Cyclones are very good early game. It could be an indicator of things to come, as Reaper will back away. Obviously, Ryung doesn't want to lose that if he doesn't have to, as these Hellions will be lifted up and they'll drop straight towards the main. Now, there isn't really much of a location where these Hellions are not going to be spotted as they drop. There's a very small sweet spot over here. Ryung's not going to find that. He's going to fly in towards this depot, and he will unload. He'll actually unload just past the depot, just in case his opponent isn't watching the mini-map, and so doesn't realize it anyways, unless the Hellions attack the depot. Then all of a sudden, you get an audible warning, and that just gives you a bit of a better idea as to the fact that this is happening. Gives you more of a chance to pull away in time and to minimize the damage you're going to end up taking as these Hellions. We're going to try and find connections wherever possible. Actually going to find a few Marines around here right now. Gets rid of 1 or 2, now a third. He's lost 1 Hellion, he'll get 1 more Marine kill. Looks as though that will be all he gets. He did pick off a few SCVs as well. 4 workers killed in this. And so Ryung picking up some good damage early and already 1-0 up in the series. He wants to stick around in this winner bracket, of course. Ryung and KeeN in this section of the bracket where as he actually drops down Hellions to the low ground again, looking for 1 more worker kill. Ryung and KeeN in the section of the bracket, which is very, I think for them both, whoever kind of comes out of this will be the heavy favorite for the rest of the bracket. Pagan Ender will be their next opponent, and then Demilove the opponent after that if they continue to make it that far. And in fact, they're the only Koreans on this section of the winners bracket, so until they advance through into the top 4 stages, they wouldn't have to play any Koreans, and that would be very, very winnable for them. Again, I mean, we're looking at these winner brackets and saying, well, hey, you don't have Bjorn in this section of the bracket. You can go a long way with this if you get past this very tough first round. And the seeding does create some very interesting matches early on. Is this medevac going to get caught by the Viking? Does it go down? It goes away. It creates some interesting scenarios because the ranking is based off of performance throughout multiple events through the year. The ranking isn't necessarily the best players, you know, based on skill. Obviously, the players who are high up are very likely to be very good, but a lot of it can come down to just how many events you play in and so on as well. And so the seeds don't necessarily avoid some kind of major kind of, you know, massively kind of favored players meeting in the early rounds. You know, for example, I mean, a lot of the top Korean players in this event that will look to go very far, such as Innovation, Hero, Stats, they're all going to be in the losers bracket from the get-go. They've had to come through a group stage to qualify for the championship bracket, you know? And that's not because, you know, it's not that the OSC system's bad, it's just the system, the way it works out, it leads us into this very interesting set of seeds that isn't necessarily what you'd usually expect a set of seeds to look like. So that kind of creates some interesting stuff as well. Little bits and pieces of action going on around the map. We saw these Cyclones picking up a Cyclone kill of his opponent. It's actually just being in general, KeeN losing quite a bit, whereas Ryung hasn't lost anything apart from one single Hellion. Very efficient out of him, as these Cyclones are not going to be pulling away in time. One will go down, the second taking lots of damage, but surviving. Hellion still positioned to the side, ready to bounce at a moment's notice and get in there. As Ryung has established a +1 upgrade lead for himself. His +1 armor is so close to finishing too, so he is going to maintain that +1 upgrade lead. And while he's a bit later on stem, he'll be a bit later on combat shields, but he has other advantages to play with, and these tanks defending well for now. As Ryung continues to maximize the lead he's already got in this game at this point. So Ryung looking to continue maximizing that as we see combat shields coming up to being about halfway done. The +1 attack upgrade about to finish up there as well. And we've seen a few Marines just moving forwards. We've seen already Raven taking a lot of damage, does get taken down. Ryung picking up an even more of an advantage here. Getting rid of that Raven, well, the Raven really at this point of the game is such a good pushing unit. You know, it gives you so much pushing potential if the order turret's coming down to snipe down a tank or so of your opponents, to soak some damage as you move in. Really nice snipe for Ryung to get rid of that one. And now KeeN is going to be looking around like, well, what do I do now? And to be fair, what does he do now? I don't know what he does at this point to really kind of fix this. You know, I don't think there's kind of a solid answer. We're going to see these Marines in the main picking off the medevac, so he's going to end up more or less winning this fight as well. He's going to have one Marine left over to deal with on very low health, so that's not even really an issue. Eventually, KeeN has to stop microing that, and the SCVs will pick up the kill. So anything KeeN tries right now is just being shut down instantly by Ryung. Ryung just not giving KeeN an opportunity anywhere to get into this game. I mean, KeeN does hold map position. That's the one advantage he holds right now, map positioning. But as soon as Ryung feels confident, I mean, he's got the Raven still to push out. Does he have a Raven? He didn't build a Raven. But he's got the potential to push out of this, and, you know, it's KeeN who has to keep reinforcing, and with Ryung just a little bit ahead, that potential's there. It's actually Ryung who doesn't even need to push out, though, because KeeN's only on 2 bases. He hasn't built a third CC, and so really, it is KeeN who has to start doing something sooner rather than later, as the fight will begin, and despite the lack of combat shields, it's still going to be Ryung who wins here. Just so many more tanks in position. I don't think KeeN really was expecting that much of an engagement to occur there. He'll drop some Marines over towards this tank as a very nice response. He sieges that tank to minimize any friendly fire. Actually takes away any friendly fire at all. And now tanks moving forwards. KeeN losing a couple of those, or taking some shots at least. Ryung continues to defend very nicely here, and well, he's going into +2/+2, so that set of upgrades will kick in and give him an advantage as well very soon as KeeN. He has to go. I mean, his opponent's on 3 bases. It's a very similar situation to the last game. KeeN has to find damage sooner rather than later. Otherwise, he's just going to kind of drop out of this game and pulling around this left-hand side. It looks as though he might just commit up into this. It's a big stim. Ryung will be repositioning his tanks. The thing is, Ryung's stim is going to be fresher, which means he doesn't have to stim again. And so his Marines are going to be on more health. His tank's siege in position too, and he just has so much as well. GG from KeeN, and Ryung is going to be taking game number 2 of this best of 3. And he will move on through to play against against either Pig or Ender tomorrow when we continue the championship bracket. GG's Ryung. Solid play in this TvT.